All right, sport fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. Now, outfielder Cody Bellinger went to bed last night as a member of the Chicago Cubs, and hits his when his head hits the pillow tonight, he's going to be a New York Yankee. Now, this afternoon, the Cubs and the Yankees finalized a deal that is sending the former National League MVP to the Bronx. The Yankees are hopeful that Bellinger will fill a void for them as their general manager, Brian Cashman, is building his team post Juan Soto. Bellinger gives the Yankees a viable option to play center field, and you just have to think if the Yankees do decide on putting Bellinger in center field, he can also play first base as well. But nonetheless, if they do put him in center, would that mean that AL MVP Aaron Judge would then go back to right field? Okay. But nonetheless, Bellinger spent the last 2 years with the Cubs after beginning his career with the Dodgers. And of course, the tail end of Bellinger's time in LA was not that good. You're talking about a guy who went from being an MVP of the National League in 2019 to being a liability. I know he was injured, working through things, you name it, but nonetheless, he found that formula again in 2023 with the Dodgers, pardon me, with the Cubs. He hit 307 that year in Chicago, 26 home runs, 97 runs batted in, and 20 stolen bases. Last year, after that strong year, Bellinger was hopeful to get a big time contract on the open market. Never came to fruition. He had to settle for a 3-year deal for 80 million just basically before the season started. Bellinger did not have the strong 2024 like he did in 2023. He only hit 266 last year with 18 home runs, and he still drove in 78 runs. But nonetheless, you're looking at it like this as far as if you're the Yankees, how you're hopeful that this can work. A left-handed bat who's primarily a pull hitter in with that short porch down the right field line at Yankee Stadium, it could work. Okay, from that point, if you want to be optimistic, it's giving you more depth. And I think this is a win-win for both teams, both the Cubs and the Yankees, from the standpoint that, hey, the Cubs were looking to dump Bellinger's salary, and the Yankees wanted themselves another outfielder, which they got. So you look at it, this could be a very shrewd move by Brian Cashman as he looks to retool that roster for the Yankees. And I will say this, credit to the Yankees from the standpoint that, hey, they have not spent a ton of time crying over spilled milk. And I'm talking about missing out on being able to re-sign Juan Soto, who left them to join the New York Mets. It's one of those, the Yankees do have holes to fill on that team. And so far this offseason, the Yankees have done a solid job looking to fill those holes. You figure going out there, they needed another starting pitcher. They signed former Atlanta Braves lefty Max Fried. They went out there, they got some bullpen help when they acquired Devin Williams from the Milwaukee Brewers, and now the acquisition of Bellinger today. So you're looking at it, and you're trying to add more depth to that lineup. And of course, in the world of Major League Baseball, you can never have enough quality pitching, whether it's coming out of your bullpen or it's in your starting rotation. Like I said, Bellinger's bat, if he's on, okay, it could be a marriage made in baseball heaven between his left-handed bat and that short porch at Yankee Stadium. So you look at the Yankees, and Juan Soto aside, okay, they're one of the top teams so far this offseason with the moves they've been doing, trying to improve. I think right now, as far as who has won the offseason or who is winning the offseason in Major League Baseball, you basically kind of flip a coin between the Yankees and the Dodgers, the two teams that we just saw square off about 2 months ago, or maybe about 6 weeks, give or take, for the World Series. as far as the moves that they're doing. We've seen the moves that the Dodgers have been doing, bringing in the likes of Blake Snell, re-signing Blake Trinan, bringing in Michael Conforto, you name it. And then, of course, I just listed the moves that the Yankees are making so far as well. Hector Pacheco, what's going on? Do you think that they are adding first baseman and Christian Walker? I don't think that the Yankees are done. It's a possibility right there. And I'll say this: the money that the Yankees were going to give Juan Soto, now you could take that and sprinkle it around and fill a lot of holes or multiple holes on your team. And that is what they've been doing so far. I don't think the Yankees are done now. Okay. I think they're going to go out there. They're still going to be doing some wheeling and dealing, whether that's free agency or whether, it's through trades. And like I talked about the other day, the MLB winter meetings, think about it in the same vein that you would think about the first round of the NFL draft. Okay, the winter meetings, it's all about the moves, especially the free agent signings. Um, those are the moves that are going to sell tickets. But of course, your team is really built by those shrewd moves, the moves that tend to fly under the radar, if you will. And you look at it right now, I think this Bellinger move, I think if it works, it could be much bigger and much more beneficial than people think. So there's a lot to look forward to there. It could also not work because you just wonder about things. You're hearing stories that Bellinger is married to a girl who used to date Giancarlo Stanton. If that's true, how's that going to work with chemistry? We don't know. But nonetheless, I think it's one of those feast or famine moves for the Yankees. And I think at this point, um, it's leaning hard towards the feasting side. So, credit to Brian Cashman, though, because I've been critical of him at times. I praised him at times as well. And I think this is one of those times I think that Brian Cashman deserves some praise because at the end of the day, he stuck to his guns with Juan Soto. He and Hal Steinbrenner stuck to their guns with the Juan Soto situation. But again, they went right to work. And that was something I wanted to know immediately after the announcement of the signing with Soto going to the Mets was where do the Yankees pivot from here? And the Yankees have done a darn good job pivoting in about the last 10 days or so with the moves that they have been making. You look at it, and I'll tell you like this, especially with Baltimore more than likely losing Corbin Burns in free agency, and the same for Anthony Santander. You look at it, things are set up more than ever for the Yankees to win the American League East for 2025. We still don't know what we're getting from the Boston Red Sox. The Jays have the talent, but they don't always put it together. The Rays, they got a lot of things going on aside from baseball right now. And then you've got the Baltimore Orioles. So I think at this point, at least with Christmas and New Year's right around the corner, as of right now, the AL East in 2025 is looking more and more like it's the Yankees division to lose. And I'll tell you what, the Yankees ain't resting on their laurels so far. So far, like I said, they've been making moves, but I do not think that this team is done. And it's one of those where it might not be moves for the Yankees that, are going to, dominate the back pages of, the newspapers in the New York area per se. But they could be moves that, come August or come September of next season, people are really going to talk about and say, hey, you know what? These are great moves right here. We didn't pay attention to them when they happened. But nonetheless, a lefty bat like Cody Bellinger at Yankee Stadium could work. Okay, and if Bellinger, he doesn't have to be 2023 or 2019 Cody Bellinger, but if he can still give you quality at bats, four quality at bats a night, um, as well as a veteran presence on that team, I definitely think this can work. It's a move that most of us expected to be made, and of course, it ramped up once the Cubs acquired outfielder Kyle Tucker from the Houston Astros last week. There were some people out there holding out hope to say that, hey, Bellinger and Tucker could be in the same lineup with the Cubs next season. I was not one of those people. You could see the writing on the wall, and it wasn't a matter of if; it was more like when Bellinger was going to get traded. And like I said, to me, I think it's a win-win for both teams. And if you're the Yankees and you're looking to remain in World Series contention, it's truly a win. So let's see how this left-handed bat of Cody Bellinger fits into to the scheme of things at Yankee Stadium. Let's see how this left-handed bat of Cody Bellinger fits into the Yankee lineup for 2025, and also let's see how many more moves will the Pinstripers make during this offseason as they're looking to enhance their chances of not only getting back to the World Series in 25, but this time winning it for the first time in 16 years. But, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in, and if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line to be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. Hector, thank you for chiming in as always. I definitely appreciate your questions and your comments, and definitely a happy holiday to you and everyone in your life as well. And folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off and I'm saying thanks once again for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody. Oh, hold up. I'm not going to go yet. I'm sorry. I see we have another comment here. Please forgive me for that. John S., how are you doing this evening? You're saying, are the Yankees going to sign a first baseman? I think it's still a possibility. I look at it like this. I mean, Bellinger uh, is primarily an outfielder. He can also play first base as well. He also gives him a left-handed bat, kind of like Anthony Rizzo does. Clearly, Bellinger at first base doesn't have the glove or the presence at first like an Anthony Rizzo did. But I think at the end of the day, I think he's primarily going to be an outfielder. I think the Yankees still go out there and look for a first baseman. I don't think they're done. And going back to what I said after the after Juan Soto went to the Mets, if you're the Yankees, take this time and try to fill a lot of those holes. You needed another outfielder. They just got that. You needed another starting pitcher. They got that when they got Max Fried. You needed bullpen help. Now you still need first base, I think, as well as third base. And I'll jump back on this. I think bringing in a guy like Bellinger, if you put him in center, I think that helps Judge now. And I think it's going to help Judge for the years to come because at the end of the day, Aaron Judge is not a center fielder. Aaron Judge is a right fielder. And of course, they put him there once they had Soto, but nonetheless, he's better served in right field. And I think Judge playing in right field, okay, will add some years to his career as opposed to taking away from his career if he continued to play center field, having to work center field, work left center, work right center. That's taxing on a big guy like Judge. So, nonetheless, to your statement right there, I do agree. The Yankees are going to sign, or they definitely should sign a first baseman this offseason. Like I said before, they clearly ain't done. I think they've got some more moves, up their sleeves. Might not be big back page, of the New York newspapers big, but nonetheless, it's going to be they're going to be impactful moves, if you will, for the coming season. But the Yankees, they've been exciting so far this offseason, as have the Los Angeles Dodgers, like I said, and I think the hot stove is heating up. as the temperatures are dropping outside. Things are definitely heating up on MLB's hot stove. The winter meetings, of course, last week. Free agency now. I think it might taper off next week for Christmas and New Year's, and then it'll pick back up. And I think teams know that because, like I said before, guys might start to get desperate because once the calendar shifts to January, we've only got about 6 weeks before pitchers and catchers report. And guys definitely want to have deals in place, and teams want to know how their rosters are shaping out heading into spring training. But nonetheless, big time move by the Yankees today. If it works, I think it's going to be a high impact move that could work for the Yankees by picking up Cody Bellinger from the Cubbies. But once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off one more time and saying thanks again to Hector. Thank you, John S., for chiming in as well. John S., if you haven't already, please feel free to like this page and please feel free to subscribe to this channel and hit that alert button as well as liking the content on here if there's anything out there that you like about the sport of baseball. But once again, fine folks, I'm signing off and I'm saying and thanks once again for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.